the thing with
recording.
Yeah, he so his mom is the one that came out, right?
Oh wait, you're roboting.
So wait.
Oh, we're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing broke with her coming out and saying my son smashed my best friend.
Yes.
How did it go? Break it down play by play for me, because I don't know the details of all of it.
From what I've heard, she hinted at it, and then Zach hinted that her son was doing something that was out of it, and then I think Zach basically came in and said, "I'll pay you $60,000 to shut the fuck up," because she had a track record. Sure, she was like super annoying Twitter and kept dragging her son into things in the last season.
Yeah.
So she was trying to not Ann here. That's correct her. She was standing her own son, but inserting herself, because again, she's a modern day attractive white woman.
Where are they from? Where did Zach grow up?
Utah, Provo, Utah. He's Mormon royalty.
So his mom is a closeted Mormon mom freak, probably.
Yeah, his not only that, they come from ridiculous money. His uncle owns JetBlue. You there? Did it freeze?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
The frame stuck for a minute. I'm but Zoom's been weird this week. I couldn't even do my normal audio setup. I had to change a lot because Zoom did an update recently that fucked everything up.
So the it's just interesting with him, because about UFC 277, because we haven't talked in a while, just due to both of us being insanely busy. But
oh yeah,
277, thank God. Well, Dana is praising the good Lord Jesus for that being a home run, because he had 3 consecutive duds for main events.
Oh yeah,
he had the Adesanya fight was a dud. Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega ended up being a dud because of an injury in first round, and Tom Aspinall ended up being a dud because he got hurt. So 3 in a row. I don't even know when the last time something like that happened, if that's ever happened.
Probably honestly probably pre Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah, I mean, probably during the Zuffa era, it was something like that may have happened, but
I think right around 2005.
Yeah,
because it was all around Frank Mir, and then there was it was 2 heavyweights got hurt around the same time, and it got the fucking one dude. The guy had a lot of title defenses, but it was because he was fighting consistently the 5 and 7, 5 through 7 contenders.
Are you talking about it at heavyweight or light heavyweight? Was it Randy Couture?
No, Randy Couture beat him at 40. Then he retired. Then he got it again.
You want to talk about someone? Obviously, real MMA fans know who Randy Couture is and know what he did, especially at the age that he was at. Yeah. But you want to talk about someone that's so under-revered in combat sports. He was 40 years old. He really was not technical. I mean, his wrestling was pretty technically based, but for what he was able to pull off at his age, bananas against high level competition.
Well, yeah, that's called Anvar.
Got Tranaball.
This is the early Zuma era UFC. They were just trying to keep the lights on. You don't think they were skimming a little bit in that protocol?
Hold on. Speaking of lights, excuse me, there's about to be documents released excuse me, goodness. There's about to be documents released by Hasim Rahman Jr.'s team.
Yeah.
Proving that Jake Paul has canceled his last 2 fights, between originally being Tommy Fury and then now Hasim Rahman, because of a few reasons. It's not just one. Everybody wants to point the finger to one thing. It's a few reasons. One, they didn't have any pre-fight pay-per-view guys.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't just roll the dice and hope that everybody was going to buy pay-per-views the day of, because I guarantee you what was going to happen. Everybody and their mother was going to be on crack streams for that thing.
Yeah.
No one's going to buy that. But anyway, 2, Jake Paul's promotion company, fight promoting company, MVP or whatever.
Yeah.
Did not have enough money in the bank account to even turn on the lights in Madison Square Garden. Cost $500,000 just to turn the light, just to turn them on.
Yeah.
That's not transportation.
Also, you're probably
costs.
not, let's be honest, you're not going to sell out Madison Square Garden with a really young promoter. I don't care what fucking fight you have. You need, like, there's a certain bulk amount of advertising you need to do in New York in order to get people through the door. Because, let's be honest, unless you're probably within commuting distance already, how many people are like going to fly into New York to go to Madison Square Garden to watch a fight on an amateur promoter that's really only one fight? It's not a night.
And not even that. These idiots, that it's different with MMA and UFC because it's so, which obviously boxing is international too, but just listen to me here. It's so diversified. It's so much more diversified than boxing. Boxing promoting 101, wherever you're about to have a main event, you absolutely have to have someone from that city on the main card. You're not going to bring in anybody if you don't.
Also, your promoter has to have at least one confirmed kill.
Don King just entered. Wait, Griffin, Don King just entered the chat.
Well, one of the most famous promoters of all time was the biggest boxing promoter in the 20s was Mr. Scarface himself. Chicago Mob Boss, Al Capone.
Al Capone, yeah. I got the Al part in my head, right? And then I spit out
the other sketchy guy who fucked a lot of hookers in New York in the 20s who got syphilis, not named Babe Ruth.
Wait, did Babe Ruth get syphilis?
Yeah, that's why he missed the entirety of the 27 season.
Huh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, anyhow, that's also why he died early.
Oh, I didn't know it was syphilis that did that to him, though.
He would they would play in St. Louis, and then the entirety of the series, he would basically not stay in the hotel. He would stay in the whorehouse.
What even is syphilis basically modern day? I mean, pastime AIDS. I mean, is that kind of like the equivalent?
It was like the original major VD. It was like the less lethal of VDs. So it's a bacteria infection you get that basically gets in your blood and makes you crazy, and you lose your mind, and you just die early. Other complications having to do with a really hard to get rid of a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
So, and it took really the 60s. It was like a really common problem.
Yeah. But anyway, to wrap that up, Jake Paul is an idiot.
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit is due. He's done a great job of self-marketing. He's always done that ever since he was a child star and for the Disney Channel and everything. And everybody's wondering why ESPN Boxing Mag and and all these and they're going to push him. Even if he's a legitimate boxer or not, it doesn't matter. But he is an idiot. He can't fight elite talent. Hasim Rahman Jr. would have gone in there and beaten him like a freaking drum.
Why would you take the risk if you're not going to get paid if you're Jake Paul? At this point, this is why he's desperately trying to reach out to get some other name that's a fighter, because your problem with fighting Askren and Woodley is now like all the other people who are already kind of grappling only guys, they're not going to risk their entire careers because they saw how Ben Askren's career has crumbled since that fight. They've seen nobody talks about Woodley anymore since his fight.
No.
So like your original first draw was you're going to get Mike Tyson Jr. And then Mike Tyson said, "Nah, little Junior gonna sell real estate in New York, or not New York, in South Florida. Don't get in the fight game, son." I can't do a good Mike Tyson. Though.
He's just ridiculous on every level. And after this, though, like it was weird because after the Tommy Fury fight, there was still a whole bunch of hype around Jake Paul. He's still on fire, blah blah blah. But after this, now everybody's like, okay, this kid's just full of shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. The guy that's running his promotion company was an accountant for the UFC.
Who stole
Just
from
because
Dana
you're an
White.
accountant doesn't mean you know how to run the fight game, buddy.
Yeah, not only that, he stole from Dana White. Didn't he legitimately like siphon funds or something like that? I'm not trying to say that if he is, that's a rumor.
He was skimming basically is what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was skimming tops of checks.
Ooh.
Anyhow, UFC 277, incredible main event. Juliana Pink. Okay, so I watched the post-fight press conference, and Dana. Okay, well, wait, hold on. Before I get to that, whoever the judge was that scored the fight 43-50. So that am I doing math right? Did he score 3 10-8 rounds?
I think he did.
What? He's out of his mind.
Well, you see, this is Dallas, and sketchy things always happen in Dallas. Just ask JFK.
Dear God, don't let Derek Lewis fight in Texas ever again.
Yeah.
We know that's his home state. Don't let him fight in Houston. Don't let him fight in Dallas.
All I gotta say is that third judge was Patton Oswalt. Or not Patton Oswalt, sorry. What am I talking about? Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh.
He was there and was the one thing only. Do a mysterious opinion.
Dude, I just the thing that impressed me most about that card, honestly, I mean, or the kid, excuse me, that impressed me most was what's his name? The Brazilian kid that took that guy's back in the first minute and a half. I was Andre Pantoja.
Because the prelims for that fight were great. And then like the main card was okay. A little bit for what I saw. And then Derek Lewis just for some reason can't fight in Texas. I don't know why.
I don't understand why Derek. I really don't get why Derek has fallen off like he has, because for his age, he's not even old for a heavyweight.
I don't know.
I mean, he's 37. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Amanda and Juliana, that was a great fight. Just an incredible testament of Juliana's will. But this.
Oh, by the way, this fight right here was fucking money.
Oh, Mike Diamond. Yeah.
This was just a great fight because Kosi would also press the shit at me. It was like one of those was like you're gonna give it to the grappler with how it was fought, but like,
yeah,
what's it grappling? I don't know. It's been a minute.
Scroll for me.
I can't scroll because my mouse is broken and I can't get one until next week.
Let's see. Michael Morales.
This one was actually a solid fight. I watched part of this.
I didn't see that one. I missed a few because I was trying to watch them in my office the whole time.
I was watching
and my boss came in. He was like, "What are you doing?"
I was watching it at a bar, getting hammered to get ready to go to a country thing. So I was like watching the main card on my phone, fairly drunk, in the middle of a dance floor. So, yeah. Have you ever tried being on the dance floor, getting grinded on, and like hold a phone but like trying to do it, we're splitting this, like you're looking at the band, you're looking at the girl, then you're looking back at your phone, and then you're like, oh God, what the fuck happened to Derek Lewis? You go back to the girl, then you go back to the band. Yeah, then I'm trying to remember even.
Okay,
It got a
yeah.
little hazy after the Lewis fight. I gotta be honest, because I only remember parts of the Pena fight.
Okay, so stop right here. So Drakkar Klose and Dontel Mays, people don't realize how long those two guys have been in the promotion and how long those two guys have been in the game, and they both just dropped off horrifically.
Well, not only
especially
do they drop
Dontel
off,
Mays.
This is what I like to call the do you want to stay in the roster card, or do you want to go to bare knuckle fighting?
Yeah.
So
Drew fucking Dober, man. That dude is a fucking dog. He is such a dog.
Alves, the entire fight was lighting him up.
Rafael Alves was what?
Alves was lighting him up rounds 1 through 2.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Alves was countering him the whole time because Drew just walks him down,
Yeah. Also, this fight was fucking phenomenal too.
I missed that one, but I wish I would have seen it. Were they standing and banging,
Miranda
or was it a good grappling
match? And Smellsberger was striking too, but they were training fairly decently.
Nice.
Well, I'm also a little biased because Smellsberger's a North Carolina guy, so
yeah.
So now to the main card of 277. Magomedov, the other nondescript Dagestani fighter.
Look, even if Anthony Smith didn't get hurt right there, we all know how that fight was going to go.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Anthony Smith, he is an extremely talented commentator. Actually, he's good.
He's going to be a guy who's going to go on something like what is it, WCA, or probably Cage Warriors when they come to the U.S. once every couple months.
I think that Anthony Smith should sort of transition more into like a Paul Felder role.
Yeah.
There's to be honest with you, there's more money that way because it's consistent cash flow, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He was an incredibly. I think he won the light heavyweight fight. Well, he definitely should have, because John Jones threw an illegal knee. And then if Anthony Smith would have been like, oh, I'm hurt, blah, 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 he would have won. He would have been light heavyweight champion of the world. But he was a man and didn't. And I fucking respect the shit out of him for that. So, but with that being said, he'll always be a gatekeeper, unfortunately, especially now at light heavyweight. He needs to move on.
Yeah, and then Alex Perez versus Pantoja. Pantoja is the former was he Dana White Contender Series, or was he Ultimate Fighter when they brought it back?
I think he was he not Ultimate Fighter Brazil? I think he was an Ultimate Fighter Brazil winner.
He might have been.
But that kid.
Oh no, look at this. Look at this. It makes him look so short.
Do what?
You see my screen?
Yeah.
See how you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm going to submit you. Quality you expect from full quality or full. God,
I wish he wouldn't have. I mean, it was extremely impressive with how he took Perez's back and everything and submitted him that fast. But I don't really know. I mean, whenever they do stuff like that, it makes you think that they're very one-dimensional, and I want to see more out of him.
Mm-hmm. Look at Derek Lewis. It's when you like go in your when you're 3 and you go in your mom's bed, like, Mom, I peed on the bed.
Mom, I threw up.
No, this is the shit. This is like midget boxing.
He looks like Michael Orr from The Blind Side.
Oh no, he's nowhere near tall. It'd be a better example to say
How tall was Michael Orr, by the way?
he's the new master for Master Blaster for the new Mad Max film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Moreno, the baby-faced assassin, thought basically putting Kai Kara France out of title contention for the near future. Let's be honest, Kai Kara has had what 3 chances now?
Yeah, and here's the with Kai, it's like it. I don't know if it's just a case of bad luck because if he doesn't get hit with that body shot, he's interim champion.
Yeah.
With that being said, if he does become interim champion and he fights Figueiredo, he's absolutely murked.
Yeah.
He would have gotten murked. Figueiredo would have came in at like a minus 450 favorite.
Kai Kara France is the Max Holloway of flyweights, where he came in highly touted, lived up to the hype, but he's like always going to be contender 1, contender 2, contender 3.
Well, let's not forget. Hold. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Max Holloway was a 5-time defending featherweight champion.
Oh shit, I'm retarded. I'm sorry. I might have to clip that part out.
Yeah. Let's cut that. I know it's been a while, but we'll cut that one.
Right. My bad. My bad. I'm retarded.
Dustin Poirier. I know, but I mean, it's been a while since he lost the belt.
Yeah.
But with
Kai Kara France is the Dustin Poirier flyweight. Better?
Oh yeah, that's honestly, yeah, that's a very fair comparison because he's extremely technical. He's tough as nails. His boxing is crisp. I don't really know where it goes wrong with him. I don't know if it's just a matter of bad fate or what, because I mean, he went in with a good strategy. I mean, if you look at the 2 after the fight, it looks like Brandon Moreno got his ass kicked, and well, he did, but
Brandon Miranda's is better.
He's tough. He knows where to find good openings. I think his next fight with Figueiredo, and don't quote me on this, but I have a feeling it will be in Brazil. And if it's in Brazil,
they already gave Miranda the 1 fight in Mexico. They fought again in LA, which is okay, Orange County, which is let's be honest, Orange County is like what 40% ethnically Mexican now. 30%.
Yeah.
Like no, if you go back and watch that fight, watch the post-fight interview. You know how like they'll normally have like the translator that then say the mic for the stadium PA.
Yeah.
You could hear the fans react to Brandon Moreno before the interpreter can talk.
Yeah, what was really weird about that post-fight interview in the octagon, and Joe Rogan looked confused as shit. Figueiredo was like talking to him.
Yeah.
While he was like saying stuff to Moreno while Moreno was trying to give like his post-fight speech and all this. So it was super awkward and like just not well coordinated. Neither one of them speak very good English. Well, Figueiredo doesn't speak any English, and then Moreno just doesn't speak good English. So that was very weird. But Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, I mean, give props to Pena. She's obviously tough as shit, and she's good. With that being said, that fight pretty much proved that Amanda was just in a bad spot whenever they fought the first time. And it happens. I mean, you have a bad night, and she was also coming off of intense COVID treatments and stuff like that. So her cardio was all fucked up. It was just...
I think it was that. It was just that she had too long of a layoff. She had almost 2-year layoff.
It was close. It was pushing to.
She had the kid, and then all the other stuff. Then she had a long trouble. Because a good example, Amanda Lee in one. Amanda Lee in one had like a year and a half because she had a kid around a similar time and won, and then she came back to basically defeat Stan Fairtex. To be fair, Amanda Lee was like, even Amanda Lee, she was struggling. But the main difference is Pena's a wrestler. Stamp Fairtex is still relatively new. I mean, she only has maybe 3.5 years of jujitsu. She's
Yeah.
going against the daughter of like one of the big gym guys of Orange County of all of jujitsu and grappling.
Right. And Juliana Pena, what I was really confused about with her is, look, she has good jujitsu, but if I don't know if you remember from the fight, every time that Amanda would pull out, she would just kind of stand there and hang her arm out like this.
Yeah.
If you're, which I'm pretty sure Pena is like at least a brown belt. I don't know who under, but whenever her arm is like that, you lose the arm ball, you roll up and switch your hips over, switch to a Kimura grip, and you have an omoplata.
Yeah.
I don't. She could have done that 8 times, but obviously, that's why we're the armchair fighters. So
it's a bit different when you're facing Amanda Nunes and she's built like a Brazilian mid-back.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you're trying to pull an omoplata on someone that's as strong as her,
or midfielder,
it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, and speaking of Brazil and the stereotype of Brazilian fighters, did you see this one move during the Container Series? Did you see this fucking kick?
Oh, where he was doing a Rabona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
I don't think he hit.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. I don't know why he was trying to pull a Rabona. That's a soccer move, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know why. Which that coming from me a lot. You know, I mean, Griffin, you know this. I played soccer my whole life, captain of the soccer team, blah blah blah. I don't know why he was trying to do a Rabona in the octagon, but whatever. Hey, that Salvador guy, I thought he was gonna, because like before the fight, they were like talking about him. He was like, "Oh, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got a coral stripe and blah blah blah." I thought he was just gonna go in there and try to pull a Damian Maya. He went in there and
he was.
Look, I'm not gonna cross this line, but he looked like Charles Oliveira in there.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good comparison. Yeah,
I think that's fair
in terms of style.
Yeah,
that like kind of like lanky-ish, but like still very fluid.
Very lanky, can take a shot still. It's very rare that you can find someone with that build that's as elite as they are with striking, and they can still take a shot. You know what I mean? That kid could take a shot.
Oh, yeah.
But by far, the most impressive kid, and there was a ton of great fights on that Contender Series matchup, was Francis Marshall.
I told you about him. Dude.
Once you texted me, I hadn't seen him yet. I was like, okay, I'm going to go watch it. This kid, to me, in my opinion, first of all, his discipline is insane because he didn't rush in on anything. He just he just stood there in the pocket, and he also had 5 takedowns in like the first round.
Yeah.
Or first 2 rounds, maybe something like that. This kid reminds me of one person.
In the first 2, because I don't remember him doing a single takedown in the third.
There's only one person that this reminds me of, and it's George St. Pierre.
I thought a little bit of it.
The reason why I say that is because of how well balanced he is with his jab, and how he can just go to the ground if he wants to.
Yeah, but that's like late career GSP. I was thinking he reminded me of Pocket. I call him Pocket Seat or Steep.
Oh yeah.
Pocket size Steep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's fair because I mean, and well, Stipe, oh gosh, this is gonna turn into a 4-hour. Well, it can't turn into a 4-hour. But we're going to address the whole Stipe Miocic versus John Jones situation because I told you to jump in on a comment thread. I forgot to respond and tell you which page it was on, but it got out of control.
Yeah.
But
who did he say the best heavyweight was? I didn't see it though.
Let's see, Billy Goff. Oh yeah, that's that kid from New York that came back with a win. Oh, Duncan, the guy from Scotland.
Oh, hold up. Why you say that?
He,
I have the sauce.
you have the sauce?
The sauce.
Well, don't get lost in the sauce.
Oh, let's mute this because I don't want to get copyright strike.
Hey, Griffin, you're gonna have to cut this part that I'm about to do. I gotta get up and grab something real quick. Okay, I have a 6-week-old puppy now, so
Yeah, that's all good. One second.
resume.
All right, we're resuming. Now let's go back to the screen share. Go back to me bookmarks.
Patty's is so good. But anyway,
Failed stuff to tent. Hook.
Stuff through
knee.
I mean, he's hurt. He's hurt bad here. Hurt really, really bad. Uppercut.
No.
He shoots him for a single leg, misses, and then boom.
And like Scotland, they're never truly out.
Which
God, that was a beautiful straight.
Which is amazing because if you really think about it,
by the way,
let's think of some of the UK fighters. Okay, just historically and currently, you got Tom Aspinall. He's not known for he's really not known to be like dropping hammers and stuff. He's known for fast technical ability. Arnold Allen, he can put people's lights out. Paddy Pimblett is a grappler. Paul Craig is a grappler. Michael Bisping wasn't really known for that either. Darren Till. This kid is known for shutting people's lights out, man.
Yeah. You don't get the nickname The Problem for nothing.
Is this Bo Nickel?
Yeah, this is Bo Nickel in some amateur promotion.
Oh, wait, so does he have hands too?
Yep.
Oh!
God, why'd you do Bob Ross like that?
That to be fair, that is an amateur promotion, but I wonder, so
why are you punching that poor painter? All he did was spread his joys and paint happy little trees.
Have you looked into his background at all, Griffin? Because I don't know much about him.
I don't know much about him either, outside of what I saw in my 2 tweets on Twitter. These 3-time Division I champion in wrestling, 3-time Big Ten champion, and 100.
Oh, out of what school? Look it up. Look it up real quick. Screen share. Look up. See what school he went to. He's Big Ten.
Big Ten. So,
dude, if he's a 3-time Big Ten Division I wrestling champion, he is an animal.
6'1", 185. Penn State.
Yeah, dude is a beast.
Oh, and he's already in Coconut Creek, and he's already with American Top Team.
So wait, what weight class is he fighting in?
Middle. Well, no, his wrestling was middle, but he's fighting at a heavyweight, or at least that's how they list him.
They have him listed at heavyweight? Wait. So did he fight? I mean, excuse me. Did he wrestle at 185?
He wrestled at middleweight. Yeah.
Huh. So
I guess he really didn't like weight cuts.
Yeah. Is he just fighting at his natural weight then?
I guess.
Wow. That kid is fighting at a huge advantage then.
Yeah. Also, blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm amazed he's not a brown belt. This seems like the kind of kid who you could have said like, yeah, he started in middle school. That you wanted to do something for like wrestling competitions or some shit to get his like stock up.
Yeah.
1 gold in the under 23s.
I tell you, speaking of middleweight.
Oh, he's from Allen, Texas. Okay, that makes sense.
Speaking of middleweight, and Dana even said it himself. He was like, well, like people were asking him, they were like, well, what is your opinion? This was after the Adesanya card where what's his name What? Who's the Amazonian Brazilian that knocked him out?
Oh, Alex Pereira.
Escaping me. Huh?
Pereira?
Yeah. Dana even said it himself in that post-fight press conference. He was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. He hasn't really been living up to what he's been saying at press conferences, but I promise you, he's going to have no choice but to stand and engage with Pereira whenever I make, because he said it right there. He's like, I'm making them fight. And to be honest with you, completely honest, I don't see Adesanya getting out of there. No. I really don't. I really do not. I think that, because here's the thing. If he had some sort of like wrestling base, he could use that as a cop out, but he doesn't. I don't even know if he's ever shot a takedown in the UFC.
No. Well, not only just that, like, let's be honest real quick. His problem in his base striking is because he's such a long fighter and he's used to fighting usually people that he has a few inch reach advantage. He kind of, and Strickland had the same problem against Pereira. He over relies on the straights to a point that, like, if you just roll slightly and go over top his arms, he gets clipped more times than you would like. Kamara's kind of similar, but nobody welterweight really has checked him too much, or at least had the power to do anything with it. But Pereira is the one guy you can't fuck up your guard. He only need, like, he's legitimately, he's so precise on top of having the touch of fucking death. That
what's so infuriating about the whole thing with Pereira, first of all, let's get this out of the way. I love that guy. I think it's an incredible story. It makes it obviously really hard to promote because he doesn't speak English and everything, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, everybody's just hung up on his power. He's so technically good. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, with Glover Teixeira after the fight. It's like, yeah, the reason I did 3 body jabs because I knew the moment he would go for a straight and I'd just go left hook.
Yeah.
The way he even describes his other fights and other things he does, it's just,
he'll break it down for you.
Who's a 2-time world champion in kickboxing.
Was he in Glory? Was he in Glory Kickboxing?
And before that, he was in another really big time promotion in Japan.
Was it M1?
Yeah, I think it might have been M1.
M1 Global, maybe. I don't know, but I just here's the thing that Adesanya has to his advantage coming into the fight. He's, in my opinion at least, which it's all subjective at the end of the day, he's fighting out the best camp in the world at City Kickboxing in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I think they're besides Tiger Muay Thai, I think that they're the best camp in the world right now.
Extreme Couture.
Yeah, Extreme Couture. Yeah, well, yeah, they're really good too.
Oh, the one that has all the champions fighting out of it.
The most overrated camp, and hypothetically speaking, a lot of people watch this video and everything. Sorry, everyone. American Top Team, they have basically turned into the box store of elite MMA training.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there in terms of like it's the box store, but I don't think they're the most overrated. I think the most overrated is the one that Rose Namajunas goes through.
Oh, I was going to say Uriah Faber's gym, Team Alpha Male.
Team China? Isn't like half the Chinese roster?
Can we just go ahead and because it's in Northern California, it's a short travel. But can we just go ahead and address Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev is the most disrespectful thing. I'm not even trying to be funny because I mean, there's a piece of it, there's an element of it that's funny, but it's really not funny what they're doing to Nate Diaz. This is so fucked up on so many levels. Obviously, there can't be a fight unless you take the fight. Oh, Gane versus Tuivasa. Yeah, let's go there.
Hold on. Oh, I thought you wanted to do the Shaman Diaz because I was just going on the way because look, here's my honest take. Nate Diaz will fight fucking anybody. They presented
Which,
it to him and he agreed without fucking hesitation.
yeah, which look, Nate Diaz is always going to be. I fucking love Nate Diaz. He's a gangster. He'll fight anybody. He can. And look, he got his ass kicked by Leon Edwards and then almost knocked him out at the end of the fight and probably would have put him away if he didn't flip the bird at him, you know?
Yeah.
So
he's
always in the fight, but Chimaev is a whole nother animal. I've never seen someone fight 3 unranked fighters and then fight the number 3 welterweight in the world
and win by decision.
He didn't beat the shit out of Gilbert Burns, but he did beat him definitively.
It was a war, but he did.
It was a war.
You know, it wasn't only a 3-round, but it was a 3-round war.
The thing, yeah, it was 3 rounds. The thing that makes this fight is that they're both dogs.
Yeah.
So everybody is saying, oh, well, Chimaev's a wrestler, so if he takes Nate down, Nate can catch him while Nate's off his back and throw a triangle.
When's the
I don't want to hear all that.
When's the last time that's like
Nate's not going to throw up a triangle on him. He's not strong enough to pull it off. I don't want to hear all that. Chimaev's going to walk into the octagon weighing about 195, 200. Nate's going to be like 178 or some shit. He sucks at putting weight back on. And he's going to get absolutely steamrolled.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest here as well. I mean, it's just you have the younger guy who's a grappling specialist who trained out of one of the best grappling gyms in the world, that one in Sweden that Gustafsson goes to. And has been wrecking people there
Stockholm.
since he was like a fucking low-end professional. And this guy has only gotten better, and he's just fought Gilbert Burns, who's arguably you could put him in the conversation as the best grappling middleweight or welterweight, not named Colby Covington.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? Oh, absolutely.
No, that's not disrespect to Usman.
No,
very good. He's a good wrestling background, but Usman's main strength is that he's a fucking complete fighter.
Exactly.
Gilbert Burns, he's a good striker, but not a great striker. And even Shima, despite not being the longest striker, I mean, his tiger can't pay it off because he did win by strikes.
I'd put Gilbert in probably like the 80th percentile striking. He can stand there and bang with you. I mean, like he can. I mean, he can throw a jab and he can catch you with some good shots. But if that son of a bitch gets a hold of you, you're in some deep shit.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that no one is considering. The fact that Chimaev went in there and I wouldn't necessarily say beat Gilbert at his own game, but went toe for toe with him at his own game and then won in the judge's eyes. Yeah. I see. This is what I see happening in the welterweight division. I see Usman defending it one more time against Leon. I think Usman ends up winning the fight probably.
Yeah.
Even though stylistically, Leon, it's going to be different. I'm really intrigued by that fight because Usman is going to have to prepare differently. Yes, Usman has fought good strikers. Yes, he's fought well-rounded guys. He's fought Colby Covington twice. He beat Tyron Woodley, who in his prime was a well-rounded fighter. He beat Gilbert Burns, but Leon is very weird in the sense that he'll almost bull rush you. He's throwing jabs, and then you don't even notice it. He's going lower and shoots for a double leg.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a weird fight. It's going to be a chess match. I think Kamaru still takes it. But what I see happening is he defends against Kamaru. Chimaev ends up beating the shit out of Nate Diaz. And then there's only one other contender for Kamaru to fight, and it's Hamzat Chimaev. And I don't think he wants any part of that, man, dude. No. I just really don't.
Look, let's be honest.
Oh my gosh, Johnny Walker versus Ion Kuchalaba.
Also, how the fuck is Johnny Walker still ranked?
Dude, that
Okay,
is
it's light heavyweight. That's why I forgot. That's a
dude,
little the
Johnny
depth is.
Walker versus Kuchalaba. That is a fight of that is a battle of who has the glassiest chin.
That's going to be the best round one.
It's gonna be an awesome fight.
Yeah. Johnny Walker, win or lose, is entertaining because he
Scroll down.
somebody out or he gets knocked out.
Scroll down, Griff.
Wait, what?
Scroll down for me.
Oh, 1 second, because I was going to say one more thing. I mean, let's be honest with what the Shama fight is for Diaz. This is a fucking tune-up fight because I guarantee you, Haus-Matic, before we got a challenge, because they're going to give him one more fight of his choice. It's a money fight on top of a tune-up. In my opinion, this is why I don't think it's disrespectful. Nate Diaz gets one last legitimate big time money fight because that's the big thing he's been bitching about last month in subtext, that he doesn't get paid enough considering how popular he is. And
you know what? Now that you say that, I'm glad that you said that because I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you. Nate wanted to go out with one last big payday. Not that he needs it, because a lot of people don't know this. Nate has done really good with his money.
Yeah,
but
okay.
This is going to be his last big payday. I think he knows going into the fight how it's going to play out, but man,
I think he's going to stand in there.
There's a small piece of me that's like, man, Nate can catch him.
I mean, you know, this is him. Payday, you die in your shield. Hopefully you don't get knocked completely out. He's only been really knocked completely out once.
This is by far the most respectable send-off I've ever seen. Well, not respectable on the promoter's part, but respectable on Nate Diaz.
Oh, it's class on Nate. He promotes it. He talks to Shama. Shama talks to him. In my opinion, I think it's respectable by Dana because like Nate Diaz has been, again, for a year, because his last two fights were like mid-main card, not the greatest draw. I don't think one of them was on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
so Diaz is like, hey, why are you skipping me checks? And Dana's like, okay, I'm gonna give you that. Well, work it out. And this is everybody, in my opinion, is involved in this. This is why I don't say it's disrespectful. I think at the end of the day, everybody wins in this. Shama gets his tune-up against a legend, gets more name rack, better for a title fight and a better pay-per-view for him going forward. You defeated a legend. Nate Diaz probably doesn't get knocked out, probably goes to decision, all 5 rounds, bleeds everywhere like Ric Flair. And then like he can like retire on, even though he loses, it's a high note because he doesn't like get destroyed. He stands his ground to an extent.
I tell you what,
gets
man,
a fuck ton of money.
I tell you what, man. Oh yeah, he's gonna get a fuck ton of money because there's gonna be an insane amount of wait, where is it, by the way? Does it
they have it listed in Vegas, but I also heard that they're trying to make this in Sweden.
Yeah. So wait, are they at T-Mobile? Where are they?
They say T-Mobile, but I heard this might be the Sweden fight.
Huh.
Unless it's another one. And again, I needed to do a bit more research on that, to be completely honest, because I wasn't expecting to talk about this one tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't either. We usually end up doing it. Jake Collier's good. Oh, Jake Collier and Chris Bennett, that'll be fun.
Oh, that's always. Oh, I love Chris Barnett. You ever told you like my joke about what Chris Barnett is? Remember like how you could like copy the rules, like the move set of people in like UFC 4 and UFC Undisputed 3?
Yeah.
Copy it. He's if you like copied the entire skill set of GSP and loaded it onto like the biggest meme heavyweight build you could find. Like it'll give you the heaviest build you could make in the shortest guy.
So wait,
and I'm gonna give you the GSP move set.
So far he's had 2 fights in the UFC, right?
Yeah. No, 3. Lost to Rock or big fucking Wisconsin guy who'd been in forever. He recently retired. Not Rockhold. Is it Rockhold?
No, not Luke Rockhold.
Not Rockhold. Fuck. Starts with an R.
Huh.
Rothberg.
Oh,
Rothberg.
Ben Rothman.
Rothman. I knew there was a Roth in it.
Yeah.
Or
So wait. So did he lose his opener, win the second fight, then lost again?
Yep.
So he's 1-2 in the UFC.
Yes.
So does he have a 4-fight contract? That must be what it is.
Probably. They probably gave him a 4-fight because this was, I think he got signed in the middle when they were doing a lot of the Fight Islands and a lot of the Apex. So they were just trying to get people fights. And I think they signed him as like you saw this a little bit with some of the in the 2020, 2021, where they were hiring last minute Bellator guys.
Yeah.
People who like usually like were in Bellator, but they're kind of in and out. So they were
Yeah.
like hiring basically, I wouldn't call them cans, but they were just hiring vets and just seeing what would happen.
Oh, okay. That Gelton Almeida dude.
Yeah.
He is not talked about near enough, but that guy is going to be probably the next elite athlete in heavyweight. That dude is insane.
I don't know.
He's
that fucking
dude.
Dominican guy from the Contender series.
Oh yeah.
Built like Pop
Acosta.
Ortiz.
Honestly, this card is a complete dud because it's all it is a send off for Nate Diaz.
Oh yeah. I mean they just needed to clear a bunch of fights. This is what they're gonna do it.
Yeah, they needed to fill fights on contracts is what they needed.
You wouldn't have Chris Barnett on this card if you weren't trying to make him the beginning of the main card.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Because always the first fight in the main card is like some fun fight with some person of note.
Right.
So nobody really, Jake Collier is not that well known outside the kind of like people who obsessively look at topology. Chris Barnett has at least like one big social media moment. But again, that's also
Chris Barnett has a cultish following, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
Chris Barnett only has like he has like enough of a moment where he's like kind of, I guess C-list is a nice or the best way I could put it. He's a C-list UFC fighter where like he has his like big fit. Is like Kevin Bacon,
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, fair. Or first Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Oh, the guy who played Anakin Skywalker. By the way,
to me, in my humble opinion, that doesn't mean shit. To me, Ciryl Gane versus Tai Tuivasa, that fight is probably one of the most intriguing fights that I'll ever be able to see. Like literally, I'm going to go ahead and say ever. I'm not going to say it's going to be one of the best fights because I don't know. But to me, it's so intriguing because Ciryl Gane is a technical masterpiece.
Yeah.
And he can move. Tai Tuivasa, whenever he throws, it doesn't look insanely technical or anything, but his timing is so beautiful, and the violence in which he throws it is beautiful.
He has
it really boils down to how incredible his timing is.
Not only his timing, like it's kind of Derek Lewis-ish in terms of timing, but I'd say his biggest strength is he's only Charles Oliveira is more dangerous when he's concussed. Because every time, like, because the Tuivasa is a guy that the moment he gets stunned, people like heavyweights, a lot of heavyweights go in for the fucking double hooks. Or not double arm, not body hooks, but like, lead then a power hook. And then he just hits you with a one left hook. And next thing you know, he's on top of you and he's fucking getting the TKO.
Right.
It's just like ridiculous. Like he's just a guy, it's really hard to put out because a lot of people, you just get in there once and all it takes is because he's so fucking big. in terms of how his frame is, that he doesn't really need to do a full hip turn. He just has that much fucking power. And then you look at Gon, and Gon, like the only person I could think of moves like him, like the only people I could think of is like primetime John Jones, and then Haus-O-Matic. There's this, I have that like weird, like I guess I call it freestyle, just legs where it's not a traditional stance, and they'll they'll have a Muay Thai kick and like a Taekwondo fucking kick, and it's just like they're so and they can move that way the whole fucking fight.
Yeah, when people say you can't be technical and out of a unorthodox stance or something, those people are stupid. They're so stupid. And well, by the way, speaking of Sean O'Malley, he's been in the UFC now for about 4 years. We've been begging for him to have a step up in competition, and he's got it now.
Oh yeah, it's put
against Peter Yan. And I think, to me, in my opinion, I think that the fight that they should have gave him.
Well, Peter Yan, but
well, they gave him Peter Yan, but I don't think they should have gave him that right away. I think they should have made him fight Jose Aldo.
No, I mean I see it, but
because Aldo's number 3 at bantamweight.
I know.
And I don't know where O'Malley's at right now in bantamweight, but they're wanting him to have such a step up in competition. It's like, dude, this is how you ruin stardom. To me, this is like watching Darren Till all over again.
Yeah. Well, the difference is, I think Aldo has a few more years. He has like a year or 2 left, and I think they would rather give Aldo the next title shot than have Yan fight him.
Oh, dude, Aldo versus Aljamain Sterling, and then Aldo goes in and knocks his bitch ass out because there's no way Sterling is gonna roll with Aldo. Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah. Well, because then it's like it's his redemption. This is thank you for giving Conor McGregor a career fight.
Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about that though. Conor McGregor literally just has his name because of Jose Aldo.
Yeah. Well, because people forget Jose Aldo was the fucking butcher at 135 forever.
Dude, he defended his belt 7 times.
Yeah. Like he was in, people forget, like there was a time when like him and Demetrius Johnson were like competition of who was the best pound for pound guy.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't even close either. No. It was because by that time we were in that weird lull where Anderson had just left. John Jones was getting in trouble for beating the shit out of his baby mama and doing cocaine.
And drinking. At
that point, there was no superstars really. So the UFC was heavy on Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, and what's his name? Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, and then Conor McGregor came in, got the 8 or 9 second knockout. One of the fastest KOs of all fucking time.
Yep.
And then he just like proceeded to go on this roll, and then he became max promoter. And
where's this fight being held? There's a ton of Italian fighters. Alessio, what's his name? Oh, it's in Paris. That's why
I think Gon wins this, because again, Gon is going to stick and move the entire fucking fight.
They have Robert Whittaker at a 2-1 a little over a 2-1 favorite.
Actually, I'm amazed because I remember after he lost the rematch against Israel, there was a pretty big conversation on him moving back down to welterweight. But then again, he probably saw Shama or Haus-O-Matic and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna take my chances at middleweight."
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick and circle the whole time, please.
Yeah. Oh, you're telling me I have to fight Haus-O-Matic, Colby Covington, or Kamaru Usman? Hard pass.
Yeah, I think I'll stick in the soft middleweight division.
At least with like Israel, I can maybe like one time in the third fight get like lucky on a hook.
You're right.
Marvin Vittori, so that's going to be a great fight. Joaquin Buckley.
That Nasrat Hack Paris, he's really good.
Yeah, think I've seen him once or twice.
I don't know those guys.
He's the French Canadian. He's okay.
Benoit Saint Denis.
No, he's the former French Special Forces guy. I don't remember if he was the Bellator guy before.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking. No, I know who he is. He it wasn't Bellator. He fought at Cage Warrior. I think he was in Cage Warriors. I thought
Warriors.
Cage Warriors is in the United Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the UK big promotion. Anyway, let's go back. And then I don't care about that fight yet. But the next fight night, which honestly, the fight nights have been great this year.
Why is Jamal Hill built like horrifically?
Why is he built like a cornerback on the like not the Las Vegas Raiders, the old school Oakland Raiders?
Where he has literally zero muscle mass, but he's just explosive as fuck for no random reason.
Yeah. Thiago Santos.
Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal. I like that a lot, actually.
Oh, Usman's brother, or Kamara's brother. I think this is the Ultimate Fighter fight.
Wait, what? That's Kamaru Usman's brother?
Muhammad Usman. Yeah, he's the heavyweight.
Click. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, because this is the Ultimate Fighter. And Zach Puga, actually, great story. This guy, I remember him from back in the day. He was a fucking linebacker for the Texans. I think that's the linebacker.
Wait, he played linebacker where? Where did he play?
I think BYU. What? He was on the Houston Texans practice squad, and I remember him out of college, I think. Because he actually had a really good Ultimate Fight. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of, or if it looks very similar. But he's really like a really athletic heavyweight, and he's a guy who's naturally 240. And he's a really good feel-good story. And then it's Kamaru Usman's brother. So I think Paga, if he's the guy I'm thinking of, is he was Team Pena. And Usman was Team Nunes. Which, by the way, Pena is going to be a very good coach one day. Nunes did not do much for me.
Oh, wait. Are these their students or whatever for Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which was kind of a weird season because they did heavyweights and then they did women flyweight.
Is Muhammad Usman, is he Pena?
Yeah. No, he's Nunes.
So wait, his weight says 264, and judging off of his picture, is this man having to cut to make heavyweight?
Yes.
Dear God.
He looks like a Chipotle bag.
Dude, his build is so weird. Like his shoulders, they're not like.
Good God, look at his traps. I just noticed how big. Look how tall his traps are.
Dude, they're so tall. Why are they so tall?
I don't know. But like, I mean, this is a ridiculously built dude.
Yeah,
like Kamara is too.
So insane.
And then Pagula is kind of interesting because he moves extremely well for a heavyweight. He moves like a light heavyweight or a middleweight. So that would be good. I keep forgetting my fucking mouse wheels.
Augusto Sakai versus Spivak will be fun. Believe it or not.
And then here's the other two fighters from Ultimate Warrior. It's Juliana Miller and Brogan Walker. Because again, it was heavyweight women's flyweight. So it was like the extremes.
Right.
And Pena was way better at teaching the nuances of both. Because you're not going to tell many heavyweights, I want you to drop to your lead knee and do a wrestling or ankle pick.
I think a lot of that though has just a better understanding of communicating in English and stuff like that.
A fair point.
Yeah.
Well, but even like in the corner when they had the translator, it was just like Nunes is the type of person who like they're mentally set that they're good fighters and they have that aggression. And
Right.
they have like a good idea of what they would do, but they're not very good at reading other people and saying what they should do. Because for instance,
Right.
like the very first fight I saw that she coached, she had literally a guy I nicknamed fucking corn fed. He was a Nebraska heavyweight wrestler. And Pena, the entire game plan is this motherfucker has 5 fights and he's like former collegiate wrestler. He's going to go for the takedowns a lot and he's going to do an overhand right. You know, the fucking stereotype of all like lower experienced like guys who went from wrestling into martial arts, mixed martial arts. So they basically taught the other guy, who, by the way, wrestles with Curtis Blades and because he went to Altitude Denver.
Which, by the way, why do all wrestlers have good overhand rights?
I think it has a lot to do with how they dip their head and make it look like a takedown. It's already kind of coming at a high angle. So it's a good way you can feign it.
Right.
That's my opinion. Because people will put their hands down to go for the guard and it leaves just enough that you can go over. That's my uneducated fucking couch quarterback analysis. But anyway.
Speaking of quarterback, I want to talk about some football real quick, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Let me just get a couple things off my chest because you know how angry I can get.
Also, one last thing. Also, Saturday night, we got your boy Brian Bear Battle.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, no. Oh dude, Takashi Sato is no one to be fucked with. By the way,
Takashi Sato looks like he's a fucking hitman for the Yakuza.
Yeah.
He looks like he's on Bullet
You just went straight to Brian Battle and skipped over Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney is going to be a superstar. He was the dude that knocked out Matt Frivola in like 7 seconds with the 1-2.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Terrence McKinney, but I knew you like talk shit before about Brian Battle.
It's freaking Brian Battle, dude. Like, I honestly still don't really know how I feel about him. Honestly, that fight that he had against Trayshawn Gore.
Yep.
I wasn't really.
I
really wasn't all that impressed. I don't think Brian Battle is explosive enough for welterweight whatsoever. He kind of has this weird body build to where he has great reach, but it's not enough pop to even make it worth it. I see him having a 4-fight contract and then having a long career at Bellator. That's just how I see it.
He's either a guy who goes to Bellator or he's a guy who goes to. Honestly, Bellator's not been doing well as of late. So honestly, probably more of a one guy. Because he'd be a great guy for one. Because he has like crazy reach for one.
Right. Oh, and one at 170.
Like he'll be fighting like barely 6-foot ties. And like the occasional Australian.
Right.
Or like, I don't know, in nondescript Dagestani fighter 38.
How the fuck is Sam Alvey fighting on an 8-fight losing streak?
I don't know. Maybe he has pictures of Dana White snorting cocaine with Conor McGregor. Who knows?
Guys, like obviously there's a joke. Like what there's people will make jokes about like there's Oscar De La Hoya who's obviously a confirmed cokehead, and then people will be like, oh, Dana White does coke and all this. And he undoubtedly did, but he never did coke like Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, no shit. Professional fighters always do more because they usually have a bit more cash to burn before they get bad tattoos.
Right. Before they get bad tattoos.
Don't lie. Watch bare knuckle fighting and tell me that's not true. Because my favorite thing to do right now is watch bare knuckle fighting and just like look at the tattoos and you're like, how much money did you spend on bad work? Like,
Yeah.
there's this one guy. His name is, I shit you not, Steve-O Miller. My
Steve
mom.
O, like Steve O from Jackass.
Yes, that's his like state. Hold on one second. Let me pull his fucking picture up real quick. My mom literally asked me this fucking question. No, let's.
Steve Miller, as in the Steve Miller band.
Hold on. Let me type BKFC. Here we go. Oh yeah, my Google search literally said, "No, we can't help you, fam." Hold up. I know I have it in my fucking bookmark somewhere real quick.
Ow, 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 ow. Hold on, Griffin. Hold on. You're gonna have to edit this part. Pause recording. Shit. My fucking yeah.
We'll be back. We had to take a quick little break there.
Sorry about that. We had to deal with an infant.
Well, okay, so I screen share. So I saw a fucking thing the other day, by the way, that made me laugh my ass off. So there was apparently a trend during when everything was shut down during the lockdowns that people would bomb Zoom meetings. And there was a particular like guy who would go to like really traditional churches or really strict religious churches, and he would like go in as an anonymous member and then he would max out his volume and make it so that it would like go to the maximum he could on his own screen and play like hardcore gay porn. Including a video where this dude was literally like going, ah.
He'd go into like Southern Baptist churches and shit.
All black Southern Baptist. And there's another one.
He'd go into a church like named like Mount Shiloh Baptist or something.
Yeah, Mount Shiloh, and who'd do that, or you could put like, or there's another guy who kept like two black guys like helicoptering their dicks, like we looking for two. And meanwhile, you see everybody's face, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
God, that shit was funny last night. That had me cracking up. By the way, my boy Paulo Costa.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
On Juice's dude is scary.
He has some of the funniest social media. He is so fucking funny.
Here we go. You need to look at this guy and tell me, do you think this man in fact smokes weed?
Do I think he does what?
Do you think this man frequently smokes weed?
That would be my assumption.
So my mom's like, seeing him walk in, it's like, do you think that man smokes weed while we're watching bare knuckle fighting? And he's wearing, by the way, a raw headband. He's wearing a raw headband. He is a wigger from Clearwater, Florida. He is blessed on his boxing.
And can he actually fight?
I mean, by bare knuckle fighting standpoints, he's okay. Like, you know, as I say, bare knuckle fighting is for the people who are like wrestlers but wanted to do more striking.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do more wrestling shit, so they transition to BKFC, and they were not good enough at wrestling to stay into a big MMA promotion like Bellator,
right,
or UFC. Or there are people who are really raw strikers who could never go into boxing and didn't have enough wrestling to stay in the MMA promotion, so they go to BKFC. Or it's like really over the hill guys who come, or it's people who like weren't really good boxers but were kind of okay at striking MMA at a low level, and this is their first professional stint. So it's like people who are just like trying to transition to this as their full like, you know, journeyman lower level guys who are trying to make it big into BKFC. Those are most your types,
dude. Bare knuckle. This is a conversation for a different time that we could go way deeper into.
Yeah.
They have really, although they are obviously a very small promotion, all they need is for one major guy to break through at this point, because that's all they need. They just need one huge name to come to bare knuckle. And in my opinion, Derek Lewis, let's get it.
They get Derek Lewis and Greg Hardy, because I know they got Greg Hardy already.
Dude, Derek Lewis versus Greg Hardy in bare knuckle would be so sick.
You know who honestly died way too early, but this league would have been like this whole promotion.
Battle of the Mandingo. Oh, wait, shit. Okay, sorry, Griffin. Cut that out. Cut that. Sorry.
It's the Mandingo. It's not.
Yeah, sorry.
He's a really big Django Unchained fan.
Who is Greg Hardy?
Yes. Anyway, but yeah, my mom's like, "You think this man smokes weed?" I'm like, "Mom, hold up."
Speaking of, how is your mom?
Oh, she's okay.
It was just like a fender bender type deal, or what?
Yeah, fender bender. But we're still streamers. I don't want to go too much into that on camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve-O Morris.
Oh, the tatted guy is named Steve-O?
Yes. He has Savage and Blast tattoo, and he has the red lipstick tattoo on his neck.
Why do I feel like he's just a white guy that was desperately trying to get accepted into a majority black gang?
It's because he's a wigger.
Yes.
It goes without saying. The Blast tattoos all the evidence you would need, and we have more evidence. He also came into the arena with all red Florida State colored trunks with black fur on the side, and he had his Instagram on the back. And
nice.
He had on his back all flames and his basketball number with Morris. Yes.
This kid just sounds out. So let's put it this way. I mean, you know that I can grapple and I can roll. Like, if me and this kid rolled, would I just tie him up into a pretzel, or can he fight at all?
Like, he's a solid bare knuckle boxer. I mean, he has this respectable boxing game.
Yeah, which I'm not a boxer by any stretch. So, but anyway,
again, like, you know, it is what it is. Well, anyway, back to our regularly scheduled shit. Oh, also, by the way, here's another picture of the wigger in question, and then here's who's compared to, which is
that Riff Raff?
Yes. It's been when Riff Raff is less ridiculous than you in terms of your tat selection.
That is the biggest embarrassment of all time for him.
Also,
yeah,
8 seconds. Yeah, this is the average heavyweight fight. Here's the average heavyweight fight. Look at these body frames.
Dude, the guy on the right looks like he's built like a busted can of biscuits.
The guy on the left is my creative character from UFC 4, where he tried to recreate Roy Nelson from memory. This is if you try to recreate Roy Nelson from memory.
That's Roy Nelson from Wish.
Dollar General Chinese knockoff.
So let's talk a little bit of football.
All right.
Chug. Hold on. I'm sorry, everybody.
We're back.
Football. I have a few things to address with football. Mainly, I just want to open with this. The New Orleans Saints will be by far, just wait before you interject. Let me break it down. By far the best team in the NFC if Jameis Winston shows up and if Michael Thomas doesn't act like an absolute pussy.
Well, I would say that Jameis Winston is still probably going to be Jameis Winston, and you have several other big problems.
Like what? Because the offensive line has shown in camp, particularly Penning, the guy from Northern
Iowa? He went 19 to the Raw. He's going to be a liability his first year.
Dude, in camp, he has shown to be really good. He started 3. They've gotten so frustrated with him. He started 3 fights already.
That's a bad thing because, he starts them and means he gets flagged more, which is 15 yards. He also loses more than he wins in terms of reps that he doesn't start fights. And he's starting as an inexperienced guy from Northern Iowa.
We
for the Saints.
We 1,000,000% win the NFC South. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. No doubt about it. Who do you think is going to edge him? Who?
Tampa.
I don't think Tampa pulls it because I don't think Tom Brady's going to have a very good year. Even if he doesn't have a good year, okay, well, run the ball.
80% of what he was last year is still probably the best quarterback in the NFC South.
That's fair. That's fair. If I'm just saying, and of course, Jameis Winston always has this aura of the what if. Let's just be honest. Jameis Winston is just a more talented version of Jamarcus Russell.
I don't think that's a fair comparison. Honestly, I said Jameis's best comparison is he is Jay Cutler.
I don't like that comparison either.
Jay Cutler was underrated for what he was, but he was also overrated. He was kind of a weird category where you saw all the talent, you saw all put together. He just went to a system where, because Jameis Winston's freshman year is incredible, but when you realize Jimbo Fisher is probably one of the best people at making a scheme easy, and they just had a ridiculous amount of talent, and that was Jimbo Fisher. Honestly, they didn't get enough credit for that offense in general. His biggest problem is he still has too many turnover where he plays. And for every mark of brilliance he has.
What you have to bear in mind with the Saints, though, and pardon my interruption, I'm sorry. What you have to bear in mind with the Saints is how many times, just as an organization in general, they've been able to make something out of nothing. Because the year that they won the Super Bowl, there's no way in hell they should have won that Super Bowl.
I mean, agreed, but at the same time, that was also with Drew Brees.
That
Mr. Consistency.
Right.
Mr. Consistency.
Yes. Whereas Jameis Winston is not that.
No. Not only that, you have a rookie left tackle. You're missing arguably your second best defender, Marcus Williams, who left in free agency.
Second best? Says who? You?
Yeah, I would say Marshawn Lattimore is the best defender you have at this point.
I would say Lattimore.
And then he was number 2. He was secretly. He gave a lot more cushion to the rest of that secondary than a lot of people.
I would say that he is probably the second best athlete on defense.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, Marcus Williams, he's left. You replace him with Tyrann Mathieu, who kind of declined a little bit last year.
I hate Tyrann Mathieu just in general, but I mean, he's my least favorite player on the team. Look, to be fair, let's be completely fair here. You're a Saints hater by nature, Mr. North Carolina Panther. So let's be. Well, I'm just saying you grew up in that environment. Saints are
I
trash.
didn't even grow up in the Panthers environment. The Panthers weren't popular until like 2015 in large sections of North Carolina.
Even in North Carolina, they weren't widely accepted.
You underestimate how, because for a long time, everything east of Raleigh was Virginia television, which is exclusively Redskins. Or well, the team.
I always forget how close you're closer to Norfolk than like the majority of the large North Carolina towns.
I'm like 90 minutes from the downtown Norfolk.
Like how long would it? Okay, so you're 90 minutes from Norfolk. How long would it take you to get to? How long is the drive from your driveway right now to Charlotte?
5.5, 6 hours. It's about 5 hours of DC.
Yeah, so it's just like, I think the teams that are going to really surprise people this year, a lot of people are looking at the Chiefs and they're like, oh, well, Tyreek Hill is at Miami. They're going to fucking suck. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a quick cop out anymore, blah, blah, blah. I think what's his name? Hardman.
Yep.
Is going to step up in that role. I don't think they're going to be like world beaters or anything, but I think they're going to be better than people expect them to be. I think another team to watch out for. I'm not just saying this because he's on my fantasy team and all that. The New York Jets.
I'm listening.
The New York Jets are actually going to be sneaky good on defense.
They'll be better.
They'll be better. They're not gonna be bottom of the barrel. They're gonna, I think they're gonna be like a middle of the pack defense. They'll stand up and make some good plays and possibly pull off some pretty good wins. I see the Jets being a 8-9 win team, probably, maybe.
No.
You don't think they'll be an 8-win team?
No.
Really? You don't see them being an 8-win team?
No. I see them being like a 6 or 7 win team.
It's really just dependent on, well, first of all, their offensive line is garbaggio.
I would say it's improved quite a bit.
It's improved, but it's still horrific.
I mean, you have two tackles. You have 2 good tackles starting. You have a very good swing tackle.
Who do they have it? Wait, who do they have it right again?
Noah Fant. Well, not Noah Fant. Sorry, George Fant.
No offense.
I meant George Fant, but
are they related, by the way?
I don't know actually. But you have the one Fant, who they got a couple years ago. I think from UConn. Or I might be confused with the guy who went to the Giants. All right, no, I'm getting confused with the guy that went to the Giants.
How weird is UConn? Because UConn obviously, as of the past like 2 or 3 seasons,
has been garbage. They're a garbage program.
Historically and statistically, the worst college football team of all time by FBS standards.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, they have produced decent athletes.
No, like really high-end athletes who like got underperformed because of the college. They did well, but the rest of the team sucked. Byron Jones, Travis Jones. They had that tackle a year ago. Hernandez.
Who was that nasty?
Aaron Hernandez didn't go there. He was offered there and almost went there and went to Florida last minute.
Who was that nasty defensive tackle that they had that we saw at the Iron Bowl?
Travis Jones.
That we watched him blow up that freaking left guard.
Yeah, who's now on the Baltimore Ravens and is going to be their long-term replacement. Well, is the long-term replacement of Brandon Williams?
Oh, really?
Get significant snaps this year at nose.
You think so?
Yeah, because they have Michael Pierce and they have Michael Pierce on a team-friendly deal, but they're going to rotate them more. And Travis Jones offers a lot more in terms of pass rush than Pierce. Pierce bulked up more than 345. He's really probably more like 355 to be honest. And he's only 6 foot. And Travis Jones is 327, so he's lighter. And he already is 6'5" and has a reach advantage over most. So he's ultimately probably going to get slotted in more towards the end of the season when
Yeah.
when they get over their kind of rookie-ish hump that happens early in the year.
And let me just say this about the NFL right now. From about 1990, let's say, I know that there's more specific technicalities, but I'm just giving a rough estimate. Let's just say from about 1998 up until about 3 years ago, the NFL just had a ridiculous amount of elite veteran quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
We're entering into an era of the NFL where, so let me just use this as an example. At one point, there was Tom Brady, Brett Favre. There was Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. And those are just 6 elite quarterbacks right off the rip that were playing in the NFL all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
I disagree, to be honest. Completely honest. We are going into like a point where we like have more starting caliber quarterbacks than ever.
The only ones that I can think of off rip that are as elite as them, Aaron Rodgers still plays, obviously. You have Justin Herbert,
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. I'm not even going to call him elite yet. He's played 2 years.
My guy, he was the number 1 rated quarterback last year.
He had like
he carried a team to the Super Bowl.
He had like 38% of his targets to Jamar Chase. I'm just not.
Yeah, because that motherfucker is good.
I know. I'm just not sold yet. Just give me that. I'm just not sold yet.
Okay, yeah, no, but in my opinion, he's elite. Patrick Mahomes,
which we don't know what kind of season he's going to have yet. I know I speculated earlier that they'll probably have a better season than everybody's anticipating. They for sure will be at least 8-9-1 season.
I mean, Lamar already had 1 elite season.
I don't see them having a very good season. I'm sorry, Griffin. I don't see them having a very good.
Why? Why not?
Lamar digressed a little bit last year.
When did he regress? He regressed after week 7, the moment Ronnie Stanley got hurt. So they went down even more talent. And then when Ronnie Stanley got hurt, they couldn't replace anybody really at left tackle. And then Macari, like the backup center was playing right tackle. So the protection broke down. Then the Dolphins game happened. You had, I think
the Dolphins game.
One of the highest drop rates of any quarterback.
The Dolphins game was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. It was Lamar's worst game of his career. I openly
Complete. But I mean, we can point to that. But I mean, it was going to happen. You're going to have one of those games eventually. It's
regardless of quarterback. But my point is this:
it doesn't matter.
They fixed large chunks of the issues. They overhauled large sections of the offensive line, going way out of their way to get 2 not only solid tackles, but they have 2 solid backup tackles, and you have one of the best interiors. They retooled half the receiving core already. You got rid of Hollywood Brown because he kept dropping.
How's the running game gonna look?
Better, way better.
Who do they even have coming out of the backfield?
J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Mike Davis, Tyler Batty, and also off the practice squad is going to be the BYU guy. I'm blanking on his name. Patrick Ricard, Lamar Jackson, and also if need be,
old because of the conference that they're in.
Okay, so you have this. I mean, if any team in the AFC North takes a step back, it's probably the Steelers.
Which Kenny Pickett has.
Hey, he has small hands.
Kenny, how's big?
But I mean.
Oh, nobody's gonna understand that joke, but me and Griffin find that so fucking funny.
It's an inside joke.
So, it's such an inside joke. Oh my god, it's so funny.
the Steelers, I think their offensive line wise is going to be fine. Steelers, like that's an older defense.
It's very old.
It's bound for aggression, especially in the back end.
It reminds me a lot. Their defense this year reminds me a lot of Brian Urlacher's defense the last year he was with the Bears.
Yeah, that's probably a fair.
That's a fair assessment.
I would say, imagine the 2015 Steelers, but without Big Ben, Brown, and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
I think this is like the first time in a long time they'll have a top 10 pick. Because this is like the perfect year for that to happen. Because Tom would just blame, like, I had a rookie quarterback. And Mitch Trubisky was the guy we had as the hold. And, because really, the defense last year, you had a lot of guys overplay their contract. You had TJ Watt and you had the other interior guy who I'm blanking on his name, the old Ohio State guy. They were playing out of their minds. They have guys like Alex Highsmith who are massively underpaid for what they are.
Yeah.
And they still, in my opinion, they don't have a good linebacker situation. They don't have a good second. Like their secondary, if it drops off just a little bit, even with Minkah Fitzpatrick, I mean, it's just.
In my opinion, the three teams that are going to be sneaky this year that everybody's just counting out are going to be Tennessee.
I think they fall hard too.
You think they fall hard? I like Tennessee.
Who are you throwing to? Robert Woods?
Do what?
You're throwing to Robert Woods and the guy who had worse athletic testing than N'Keal Harry? I'm not even joking. He had worse athletic testing than a guy who already couldn't separate. They had completely different roles. Like, yeah, they're completely different offenses, but
I like Miami.
Wait, what?
I like Tennessee. I like Miami. And with the loss of Tyreek Hill and a few defensive players, I really like Kansas City. I think they're going to be better than people give them credit for. They have a lot of young raw talent. Mecole Hardman is no fucking joke, man. That dude is good.
No, he's not.
Dude, he's good. Yes, he is.
He's fast.
He's an athlete, man.
Okay, so is Trayvon Austin.
Okay, that's so nutty. That's not even.
Montez Valdez-Scantling.
The Tavon Austin thing's not even the same thing at all.
He was a freak athlete who had freaky elusiveness. Honestly, Tavon Austin, who's Tyreek Hill, like Tavon Austin should have been like Tyreek Hill.
No, because Tavon was way shiftier than Tyreek. Tyreek is obviously, everybody knows it. I mean, his name is fucking Cheetah on Instagram. Speed is his killer. Obviously, Tavon was fast too, but his killer was being the shiftiest guy on the field in the world.
But he was super quick. Tyreek is more quick than he is really ultimately fast. But that's because most of Tyreek's stuff isn't like a go route. It's really underneath guy that he just breaks. Tavon's problem was he was exclusively used as his gadget player. And they never, even in West Virginia, he was always used in very simple ways. So he never really developed a receiver skill set. Tyreek, because he went to an Andy Reid offense, kind of had to pick up actual receiving kind of talent or receiver patterns, receiving technique. And he actually got coached up. So within a year, he went from a punt returner only to an actual kind of they still schemed him up receiver. And then by year 3, he was a complete receiver.
Who do you think will win Coach of the Year this year?
There's a lot of things that go into it, but I would probably say I think Andy Reid wins it. I think the Chiefs overperform where people think, and they're just going to see the fact that they had massive amounts of turnover at key positions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get why people are just completely discrediting their offensive production because Tyreek Hill is gone. I think that's ridiculous.
I'm honestly a bit worried about is Travis Kelce. because he started looking a little older last year. And tight end's
Yeah.
a position that it's notorious if you're not named Tony Gonzalez for just having really sharp declines.
To me, Travis Kelce is starting to look like Jeremy Shockey after New Orleans won the Super Bowl.
That was a good comparison. I was thinking more like Zach Ertz.
That's a little bit more insulting, but okay.
Possession type. He was always more of a possession guy than like athlete. I mean, he isn't Kittle. He's not Darren Waller.
No. Which, by the way, in our fantasy league, I can't believe Darren Waller dropped all the way to like freaking the 170th.
The projected has him really low because of his questionable contract shit.
Yeah.
And plus, he kind of underperformed last year because he got hurt for a chunk of it, I believe. So they said, like, well, his last year numbers weren't good. Anyway, I feel good about my chances with him. Anyway, but back to I think the teams that massively overperform and underperform. The three, I would say, biggest chance of underperforming Titans. I don't think they have a good situation. I think AJ Brown does not get enough credit for what he did for Derrick Henry's career. And it's going to go back to the exotic smash mouth era of Tennessee Titan football. It's going to be a bad offense. They're going to blame Ryan Tannehill. And eventually, probably at the end of the year, that's when you start seeing Tennessee move away from Tannehill.
Yeah, and see, the thing, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Tennessee's complex with Ryan Tannehill is complete bullshit because not everything is that guy's fucking fault. First of all, they draw up horrific schematics for him.
Yeah, but it worked because you had AJ Brown. Now you don't. You have a rookie and you have Robert Woods, a guy I like, but Robert Woods is only like he's a good two. That's it. I mean, there's a reason why he had a good career under McVay, but people forget he was a highly recruit. Like he was like a high school recruit who went to USC, highly drafted, second round guy, went to Buffalo and was a kind of like a afterthought on the Bills, a good receiver. But he wasn't like a featured guy. And you're telling me he's carrying a rookie? A rookie with separation issues that had to be schemed up and kind of gadgety at Arkansas.
If you just had to throw a dart at the wall, who would you say, in your humble opinion, is probably going to have the worst year this year? And it's just no question. Because to me, I think it's
Washington Redskins.
I was going to say either them or Detroit.
Detroit, I think I have all the faith in the Detroit staff. They kind of got fucked by injury or win luck last year, and they had a lot of, let's be frank, bullshit losses that they shouldn't have lost, but they did because of magical bullshit.
Right. Or Seattle.
Seattle's going to be up there, but I think the teams that you think that are going to be really bad usually end up like getting just enough wins not to be the worst team.
Right.
But they're still like where you think they were going to be.
Right.
I think the Redskins, they had the perfect storm of just like blowing up this year because Ron Rivera massively underperformed last year in that defense. The moment you don't have Chase Young, the defense fell apart. He started getting injuries. All the guys they signed last year massively underperformed. Like including the secondary and everything that should have made a jump up from a playoff team that competed against the Tampa Bay fairly well, the championship winning Bucks that year. Never materialized. And yeah, you could blame quarterback and Ryan Fitzpatrick and all that, but you add Wentz, who, keep in mind, Colts paid a decent amount to get Wentz, only to trade him like a rented mule the next year happily and get a very old Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan still has very good years left. In my opinion, he has a couple of good years. But I mean, you trade a guy who you could theoretically say at one point was considered a franchise quarterback for a guy who was considered a has-been. I'm just saying that's pretty indicative of, if the Colts think that, a fairly laid-back organization.
Oh, wait. Hold on, pause. two things for me before we sign off.
You guys sign off real quick because I was going to say the other team that I think really falls off.
Okay. Who is it?
Oh, because outside the Redskins, I think they just personalities, they all blow up. They all blow up. And it's just going to get bad to worse, and a lot of issues are going to happen. And I think the ownership steps in and overmanages. The third team, I think, falls off harder than people will expect. To be honest, will probably be the Steelers. But that has a lot more to do with.
I think they'll have a 500 season.
I mean, still, but like by their standards.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I would probably say an honorable mention in teams that will decline this year.
Arizona.
Yeah, I would say they're a team that, this is honestly probably Cliff Kingsbury's last year. I think they underperform. They fire him. GM doesn't get fired. And then the GM picks another guy who they think can, satisfy Kyler Murray.
My two things, well, they're kind of random. First of all, the first one is a question. Where did Julio just go to? Why is my brain slipping right now?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, Jesus, I couldn't think for a second. My second thing is that, have you heard that potentially Sean Payton could end up in San Diego?
I saw that, but
because he has a lot of family that lives out there.
You mean LA?
Yeah, just lives in California in general.
I know. I was meant LA Chargers, but
yeah, I could see him being very successful out there if he went out there.
I don't see it because they just got a guy last year who the entire team likes and the ownership likes.
Yeah.
I think honestly, you know where I think Sean Payton goes?
Where?
Because this team's going to regress. I just don't think they regress massively. It's going to be the Bengals.
Oakland.
Because he'd be the perfect guy for Joe Burrow. I could see this is like the year because.
Oh, you could see him going to Cincinnati?
Because Zach Taylor's a fucking idiot. That's why I have all the respect for Joe Burrow. Like, sure, you had Jamar, you had all these talented weapons, but the real secret last year to the run was the defense massively overperformed from where they were in the regular season. And they spent a shit ton of money on it, but they still have consistency issues. They still don't really have any pass rush outside Trey Hendrickson, if we're going to be honest.
And to be honest with you, with Trey Henderson,
he's a guy who gets a lot, like decent number of sack numbers.
I'm just kind of like, he's like,
he's good, but he ain't $20+ million a year good, which
no,
getting paid like it.
They're taking way too much cap space with that guy.
I don't even say that. It was a good deal. I'm just saying he's just like, that's your guy. And he is, I'd say a good comparison is like current day Cam Jordan, not peak Cam Jordan. Where he's a good player. You would love to have him on your team.
He's gonna make,
but he's not like, he shouldn't be your only guy.
Look, he's gonna make good plays for you. He's gonna be there. He's gonna do what he needs to do, but he's he ain't Grady Jarrett. He's no prime JJ Watt. I mean TJ Watt. He's just not. He's just not. I'm just not all that impressed with him. I'm just really not.
In my opinion, he's like a modern day Brandon Graham.
That's fair.
That the guy who was like always like, he just didn't get great sack numbers for like weird reasons. It was just like more of like he was just unlucky, like consistently unlucky with sacks. But like Trey Henderson has the sack luck, but he has like a similar kind of like good but not great. But like he shouldn't be your only guy. That's the Bengals problem. And they still have an issue.
Which shocks me that they didn't go balls to the wall for defense in the draft.
Well, they did. They just got mostly guys to replace the other guys because it's the Bengals and they think cheaply.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were looking for nothing but replacements. It wasn't anything to build on top of. You know what I mean?
I would disagree. It's to build the top of the secondary because that secondary is going to probably regress. But I think this year's is like a regression year, and next year they're going to be special again. But
Yeah.
while they rebuild, I think they get rid of Zach Taylor and say, "Hey, we're going to get Sean Payton," because Sean Payton excels
Dude, that
with
would be
tiny
so-
quarterbacks. And
That would
huge-
be so. This is me just being an obnoxious Saints fan, but I would be a bandwagon Bengals fan.
Yeah, well, because like it's like one of those like it would be a perfect fit.
Because here's the thing, they last year they sort of had a little bit of like a Saints bad boy culture, like a Saints 2009 culture.
Okay, I can see it. It's just it's not even the bad boy thing. It's they just need somebody who can be at least keep pushing the offense. The offense needs to continue to push. I don't think I think Zach Taylor's a guy who settles down and he's Mr. I wouldn't say like McVay and like the McVay system because all the McVay coaches have been pretty good outside him. But he's just the one guy who just never seemed to like really push the team. Really, it was like the team carried him more than he convinced the team to or got the team in the best position to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like despite his whatever input he had. That's just my opinion. I think Sean Payton's best fit would be there, to be completely honest. Dallas is probably a runner up. I don't think McDonald is it the same? Not McDonald. Old Packers guy. Who's the coach of the Cowboys now?
Fucking hell.
McCarthy.
Yes, Jesus.
I don't think McCarthy's long for this world, but I don't think they get Sean Payton.
I think for Sean Payton to step in as a coordinator, it would be too heavy for their pocketbook as a coordinator.
I don't think money's an issue. I think it's
for Cincinnati.
For the fucking Jerry Jones and how much the Cowboys would spend.
Oh, wait, are you talking about? Wait, hold on, pause. You're talking about Payton going to the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
Why not? They have all the money to. I just think he doesn't want
to. I think Sean, despite him kind of leaving on a little bit of a sour note for New Orleans, I don't think he would ever do that to them.
Why?
No, there's no way he'd ever go to Dallas. The two teams that I see him most likely possibly going to would either be three: San Diego, LA, or Cincinnati.
Well, I don't see him going to the Rams.
I
don't see him going to the Rams. I don't see him going to the Chargers.
I don't see the reason why I don't see Dallas is nothing from a standpoint of like, could he be good there or like, would they be interested in him? I just think he personally wouldn't do it. Unless
I lean that he wouldn't do it, but if Jerry Jones offered a big enough paycheck.
I mean, yeah, there's always that possibility. I mean, does Jerry feel like forking out the cash for Sean Payton? I don't know.
More than likely, he paid big money for McCarthy just because he had a Lombardi.
That's fair.
Like, money's not an object to Dallas. It's more the issue of can you live in their system?
That's the issue with Dallas. Dallas is the spoiled rich kid who went to college and never went to class.
Man, don't make fun of Jerry Jones like that. He could be.
That's what they are. They have all the resources in the world. There's no excuse for them to. When was the last time they had a playoff win?
I don't know. I don't really. I mean, maybe then. No, they won one in the 2013,
like 2011, maybe 2012.
Tony Romo was the quarterback.
Yeah, they had a playoff win.
Yeah,
they haven't been conference champions since like fucking
like 16
90.
No, they won it
94.
And went 16,
something like that.
It was like the Ezekiel Elliott year.
There is
no, it was the guy before Ezekiel Elliott.
There's absolutely zero excuse as to why they are as bad as they are.
It's not that bad. It's just Their problem is they're just inconsistent.
I mean, how cursed can you be though? You know?
Colin Curse, they're inconsistent. They underperform or overperform. They have talent. They have a good team.
In my opinion,
It's just
and a lot of
consistently
people
getting the best
disagree.
out of Dak.
In my opinion, and a lot of people disagree with me on this. I think Dak Prescott poses more of a problem than people even realize.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented.
I mean,
He has
he's a
incredible
system
arm.
guy. At the end of the day,
Huh?
he's a system guy.
He's
My
my
opinion is the
Dak,
system
my
around.
opinion, Dak Prescott, and I've heard this from a few people, a few of my pledge brothers that live in Dallas. He's not well liked in the locker room, like at all.
Yeah,
And
could be part of it.
with Dak, he's almost showing an NFL career that's reminiscent of college in the sense of he just absolutely annihilates everyone through like game 9, and then for whatever reason he can't show up in certain moments.
I'd say it's part of it. I'd say the other part is he's only as good as his supporting cast, and he rises and falls with where it goes. And that was kind of the issue at Mississippi State. That was definitely the issue so far in the Cowboys. And he will, if they want to go a deep playoff run, they need to protect him in a way that insulates him from really making the mistake and just basically giving him as much of a security blanket as you can give him. Because he has enough high end plays that he could do it. He just needs it needs kind of like be timed right and with the right supporting staff. So there's just less margin of error.
Right.
It's not like Patrick Mahomes where he could play the worst half of his life and you still almost win the game against the Bengals. That was
Right.
his worst half
So
of his entire career.
in closing, who do you think has the highest potential? Well, okay, let me reword that. Who do you think has the highest ceiling to win MVP that no one would expect? Maybe not what no one would expect, but least likely MVP candidate with the highest ceiling.
Of the likely candidates, who has?
Yeah, yes, that's fair.
I'm trying to think.
Or are you asking me?
I'll ask you who do you think first? I'm still thinking of mine.
It's weird going into this season. We're going into a weird season.
Yeah.
It's a season where there's elite talent everywhere, but we don't really know what to expect because there's so much elite talent jumping around all over the place.
Yeah.
But MVP that everyone may not potentially be expecting. I would probably say, oh, that's so hard. Dude, I really don't know, to be honest with you.
I'm looking at the guy that I have a thought about, to be completely honest about you, probably do it. Derek Carr.
MVP of the NFL, like
Yes.
over the whole year?
Yes. You have Devontae Adams, you have Darrell Waller, you have a very good supporting staff of receivers, and you
Devontae Adams. I get all of those guys, but I was gonna spit out Jamar Chase possibly, but why do you say Derek Carr?
Well, let's be honest. We're talking about likely position. Like the position really does matter. So let's be honest. It's until they change the name of the award, it's going to probably still be a quarterback.
Right.
Because if Aaron Donald hasn't fucking gotten it by now, it's not gonna.
Griffin, when was the last? Well, I almost slipped up because was it you or was it David that bet him to win MVP of the Super Bowl and it wasn't and a defensive player hadn't won it in like 20 something years? I can't remember, but
It's probably David.
yeah, I think it was David. First of all, in order to who was the last defensive player to win MVP?
I think it was Lawrence Taylor.
Was it not?
It was like a completely different league in terms of how they did MVP, but like since the passing era, since the days of Tom
Was it not
Brady.
Charles Woodson?
Wait, what?
Charles Woodson?
Maybe. I don't think so, though.
I don't know. I can't remember, but
anyway, my point is this: it's going to be a quarterback. So if we're saying the least likely that I think has the highest chance, Derek Carr, because let me just read the schedule real quick. Actually, let me show the schedule. Show not tell.
yeah, actually,
this is the Raider schedule. So you got Chargers week 1. Again, this is going to be a tough division. If they play above expected against, like, this is a pretty good section until that bye. If they can come out this bye with 4-1.
So wait, first game they play against. So
they play in LA against the Chargers,
and then they play against Arizona,
then Tennessee.
Then they go to Tennessee. Well, they'll annihilate the Broncos, in my opinion.
I think they'll annihilate Tennessee and Tennessee.
You think they'll annihilate them?
Yeah.
I think Kansas City ends up winning that game.
Probably, but like it's one of those, like if they go 4-0 and then 4-1 into the bye, then you have again Texans.
We destroy
New Orleans, which will be a tougher test.
We will destroy them. Let's not even argue. We're going to beat them.
Then you have Jags, Colts, Broncos again, and then Seahawks. I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of games where they can pad up stats all at the right time. And if they start strong and play above expected, and Derek Carr, if they run the offense as well as I think they can, and Josh McDaniels has a good track record of fixing a lot of protection issues and giving the quarterbacks every opportunity, especially a guy like Derek Carr, who the moment you kind of insulate him just a little bit where he doesn't get happy feet, he's a very good quarterback.
I mean, in my opinion, the only teams that I see them losing against through week 10 would be Kansas City, New Orleans, the Chargers. And that's it. I could see them pulling one out against. I could see them pulling one off against Arizona.
As long as they lose close, you're still going to probably lean towards Derek Carr.
Yeah, I could see them pulling one out against Arizona. I see them destroying the Titans. I see them destroying the Broncos. I see them just absolutely dookie shoeing Houston. They're gonna beat Jacksonville. I feel like that'll be actually a fun stylistic game though.
They just played tonight, and when the Raiders offense was with like him or Jared Stidham, because Jared Stidham played tonight, they were fucking pantsing the Jaguars defense.
Did Jarrett Stidham have a good game?
Very good game. He's probably going to be the backup, number 1 backup.
You want to talk about a great career NFL backup, probably?
Jarrett Stidham.
I mean, seriously, dude, he's not bad.
Oh, he's good. He's always had the talent. It was just, it's kind of like Drew Lock syndrome, where you have it and you show it, but you don't show it enough or consistently for like NFL standards. And
Right.
Could you blame that in college to a degree where you just didn't get good reps early enough to build good habits? Sure. But, that's kind of a really hard question to really quantify. But back to my whole point. So, like, even towards the backstretch, like these are tougher defenses. But by that point, he'll already have a thing. And if they just play at expected on the backstretch, because it's not the greatest team around Derek, if you have good numbers,
But that's the thing, Griffin, your argument can fall apart with them having that backstretch going into the postseason because they gotta get through San Diego again. Then they gotta play LA.
Yeah.
Then they gotta play the Patriots.
Well, to be fair, have you seen the Patriots defense of the late? The back end has kind of fallen apart.
That's fair, but then they're going to have two tough defenses against the Steelers.
In my opinion, the Steelers back end's also going to fall apart. And then you have Niners who have a good front seven, not the best back end. And then the Chiefs, who I think their back end's actually greatly improved.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a Chiefs, so it's going to be a high shooting game because that's what they always fucking do.
Right.
I'm just saying, like,
can you do me a favor and pull up the Saints schedule for me?
Yes.
Just so we can break down. Because look, I know you don't like the Saints. They're going to be a better football team than what you're giving them credit for this year.
Maybe. I mean, I see them as around a 500 team.
I see us losing about six games this year.
Yeah.
And I'll show you why. Hold on.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. So week 1, Falcons should win that.
Destroy them. We'll probably lose against Tampa Bay week 2. Destroy Panthers. Destroy the Vikings. Destroy the Seahawks.
Lose to the Bengals.
Toss up with the Bengals. We'll probably end up beating the Cardinals.
I don't think you beat the Cardinals on the road.
Oh, wait. Are we on the road there?
Yep. I think you'll give a good game to the Raiders. I think the Raiders edge you out.
No.
It comes down to turnovers.
Yes, it'll come down to turnovers.
And guess who's more likely to lead the league in turnovers?
Do you think the Raiders will lead the league?
No. I think the Saints will.
Oh, because of Jameis?
Yes.
Baltimore. That's going to be a good game.
The Superdome. I give honestly the advantage to the Ravens there. I'm trying to view that as non-biasly as possible.
I think we own the Steelers there.
Agreed.
We're going to lose against LA. We're going to lose against San Francisco. We're going to lose against Tampa.
We have a late bye week too.
We're going to for sure beat the Falcons again. We're going to for sure beat the Browns.
No.
I think we beat them
Deshaun
bad.
Watson starts.
I'm not a believer in, everybody.
Christmas Eve in Cleveland with Jameis Winston.
Everybody
against a talented secondary.
Everybody's talking about Deshaun at Cleveland, but I don't believe in him in that system. I really don't.
My God, you still have Nick Chubb. You still have Nick Chubb. You still have an elite offensive line, and you have Amari fucking Cooper.
Are they elite though? Is that offensive line really elite?
Yes.
Why?
Jedrick Wills, Joel Bitonio. They had the rookie center now who's replacing J.C. Treader, who was one of the best centers in football the last couple of years.
Rookie center, and then
not rookie, sorry, second year center, but he's very good.
And then, well, I mean, I can make the same argument about Penning, but you won't let me.
Except the difference is he is an actual rookie. The center is a second year player who played a little bit towards the back end of last year when J.C. Treader had to go out for injury, and he played already well. So I already know what he is.
And the whole right side is susceptible.
No, it's not. The right guard, Wyatt Teller, is like one of the best guards in football. And then they have Jack Conklin.
I forget about Teller.
Yeah, they have Miles Teller or Wyatt Teller. Then they have Jack
Teller,
Conklin.
the guy from Top Gun.
What? Oh, I said Miles Teller. I thought I said Wyatt Teller.
You got my
Rooster, man. They got Rooster at right guard.
You got my 6 goose?
He's a beast.
Philadelphia. Okay.
And then the right tackle is Jack Conklin.
Why? I've seen on so many pages now. Why does everybody have Philadelphia to win the NFC East?
I mean, it's got, you see the Giants.
I mean,
winning it? Do you see the, oh shit, the
I mean,
Redskins winning it?
I
Or do
mean,
you see the Cowboys winning it?
I see the Cowboys winning over the fucking Eagles.
No, I think the Eagles.
I am not a believer whatsoever in Jalen Hurts at the Eagles. I'm just not.
I'm not a believer, the biggest believer in Jalen Hurts, but I am a big believer in them having a very good offensive line. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goddard, and a whole arsenal of running backs.
Okay,
That's a good receiver. That's a good set of weapons.
So far into week 6
and Jalen Reagor.
So far into week 16 on the schedule, Griffin, me and you have agreed on them losing 6 games. Exactly what I said.
I have them losing to the Browns, then probably the Eagles, and then probably beating the Panthers.
The Browns would be the 7th loss. I don't see us losing to the Eagles, and then we beat the Panthers again. So that would be 7 losses, which we would make the playoffs.
That's also assuming that you win your London game against the Vikings.
Dude, we're gonna beat the fucking Vikings in London, dude.
I have Kirk Cousins, man.
Let me ask you, and I want a detailed response on this. Why do you discredit the Saints so much? But just act like Jameis Winston isn't the quarterback.
Okay, then who would you let me act as the quarterback?
Our skill players at wide receiver, our wide receiving core is a good wide receiving core.
It's assuming that Michael Thomas is back to what he was. It's also assuming that Chris Olave is very good as a rookie. And it's also assuming that the other support receivers aren't carrying a large chunk of the load throughout the year. This is also assuming that your left tackle, which you went from one of the most stable left tackle guys in the league to a guy that you don't really know.
Where did he go?
Dolphins.
We're not even talking about the Dolphins and how they could possibly be a sleeper.
Yeah, but my opinion with the Dolphins, that their offense is going to be good, but that defense heavily regresses without their heavily defensively minded coach, and that they're going to have like a really big culture shock with that defense.
Yeah,
and they're going to have to overturn or they're going to have to quickly overhaul it in the offseason. Also, given the drama that their owner is suspended and they're losing draft picks.
Yeah, that's true.
All for hitting up Tom Brady saying you up. Honestly, you know, the other funny thing is the NFL is appealing the Deshaun Watson thing when one of the owners is Robert Kraft, who literally got caught doing the same exact fucking thing.
Wait, one of the owners at Miami is
Robert Miami. Robert Kraft's the owner of the Patriots, but he had the rub and tug scandal.
I know that he's an owner at the Patriots. I was about to be so confused.
Wait, do you know about the rub and tug scandal he had?
The what?
He went to a rub and tug in like Florida like a couple times.
Oh, yes. So
he did the same exact thing Deshaun Watson did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing, honestly.
He just got caught doing it. And then Tom Brady made a joke about it, like around the same time he was like hinting about leaving and stayed another year and then went to Tampa the next year.
Yeah.
Because he like did a whole video in front of that rub and tug. But now the reason I discredit the Saints, to be honest, is you have a lot of money tied up, but you still have lingering questions on the defensive line, in my opinion, on the offensive line, especially in the interior. And you have, even if you took Deshaun Watt, like if you traded Jameis Winston for ranked quarterback average, it's a good but probably not great enough offense to really catapult you. Now, in NFC, it's probably good enough to get you. Well,
the thing we have to bear in mind with Jameis, though, is that before he got hurt and he had to sit out the rest of the season, Griffin, he had a good fucking year.
He had a good year, but he still had a a very large amount of turnover worthy plays. And that's just how he is. He's
turnover worthy.
Yes.
Or we're nitpicking here, Griff.
No, it's not. It's literally if do you fall on the lucky side of it or do you fall on the unlucky side of it?
Yeah, which in that point, it's nitpicking.
But
he fell on the lucky side of it. That's just the fact of the matter.
It's still like overwhelmingly led the league. So your innate risk is high.
I mean,
there's a reason why he's not on the Bucks anymore. There's a reason why he got nobody else picking him up.
Because of an entire staff change.
He's late. He's late.
Bruce
Roethlisberger. Let's say what he is.
And if we want to be honest, whenever Bruce Arians was there, Bruce Arians' offense was designed where there was a lot of wide receiver option routes where Jameis just pretty much had no choice but to throw the fucking ball up.
No, it wasn't throwing the ball up. He was like throwing to linebackers in the fucking flat. He does what a lot of people do in Madden. Oh, fuck it. I thought it was open. Fuck it. I'm going to throw it anyway. That's a lot of Jameis interceptions. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
It's him looking to the flat and then him saying, oh, fuck it. I think I could beat it. And he always loses. That's why he has so many pick sixes.
I'm keeping my eyes up for polar bears.
Well, with that being said, I am really looking forward to next week's Dana White Contender Series. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be an absolute banger like this past week. I feel like that's something we can both agree on with Bo Nickel and the heavyweight that's going to be, or excuse me, because Bo Nickel is the heavyweight that's fighting. There's a featherweight that's fighting. He's going to be really good. His name is Gate.
Talking about, I have it pulled up here. 1 second. Let me go back to my screen share. I need to get my setup so I can get 2 monitors.
My new PC will be here on Tuesday of next week, which I'm super excited for.
So yeah, we got Edgar Shariz versus Clayton Carpenter.
Carpenter.
I've heard about Carpenter before, but I can't really tell you much more. Other than he's a name I've heard of before.
Clayton Carpenter is basically a Clay Guida that's technical and patient. That dude is an absolute maniac.
Jamal Pogas. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Really interesting with these past few Contender Series episodes is there's been like two women fights.
Wait, fucking. Okay, I was making sure it was like a different Pogas. I thought it for a second was the guy we were looking at over here that was the fucking fighting in the Saturday.
Is that JJ Puig's brother?
He might actually be JJ Puig's brother.
Anyhow,
Rento Jr.
It was an absolute pleasure as always, everyone. I feel like this has been, as far as just natural fluidity and everything, I think this has been a great podcast. I think that we covered a lot, and I'm really looking forward to covering what's about to happen, especially in the Dana White Contender Series, because the UFC is really stepping up with recruiting.
Yeah.
Way more than what has been in the past. That's inarguable.
You know, honestly, the other thing that's really helped, there used to be back in the day a problem that there were high-end people who were such good wrestlers who immediately went into the WWE. And honestly, the biggest help to the UFC as of late is that the WWE, since Vince McMahon stepped down because of the internal coup led by his own daughter and triple vaxxed, Triple H, who now mysteriously has heart problems.
Oh shit. Okay, but before we log off, I meant to address this earlier. Sorry, this will just take me 2 seconds. Right. So Dana is trying to build the December card more.
Yeah.
He wants Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler in a 5-round main event. I love that. I want it to happen. I think. Huh?
You're going to bring up John Jones versus Steve?
With John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, let me break this down very deliberately and very specifically on why I think Stipe Miocic will win comfortably.
Mhm.
So, but before I get to that, let me break down why people are obsessed with John Jones. He has the longest reach in the heavy divisions in UFC history. He has the most title defenses in UFC history.
Yes.
He has the most notable wins in UFC history. He technically has really never lost. The only loss that he has is a 12-6 elbow, which was bullshit. Now,
Okay, let's be fair. It was his fourth 12-6 elbow.
right. But with that,
on the other three.
with all of that being said, John Jones is a horrible human being. Because of that, and because of his lifestyle, he has digressed within the past 5 to 10 years. That is completely undeniable. And his last 3 fights so his most recent fight was Dominic Reyes. No, excuse me, it was Thiago Santos. People had Santos winning that fight 50-48. I think it was 52% of the population had Dominic Reyes winning the fight against him. And I forget who is, Gustafson. They had Gustafson winning the fight. So
I don't think he even won that. I think rewatching that the first one, John Jones, and in the second fight, the rematch, it was John Jones decisively.
There's no way with the Gustafson fight that could have been. I'm just saying what other people have said. But with Dominic Reyes and with Santos, those
you could argue the other way.
You can 1,000,000% argue the other way. And if you're supposed to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, there should never be question. There should never be question as to who won the fight, ever. So, John's greatest advantage, undoubtedly, is his ability to manage range.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. It's his ability to manage range. He can close. He can move back out. He can close. He can move back out. With that being said, Stipe's greatest advantage is making people stay within his range.
Yeah,
he has
fighting within the pocket without getting got.
He has this weird ability to draw people in, trade in the pocket, and then they go into this like circling chess match and then trade again. It's like a revolving door.
He's really good with his feet at cutting people off, and he's very good at not getting so close you get clenched up and thrown to the ground, but just close enough that and Volkanovski does the same thing. It's how he rolls. It's how he kind of sets it up, kind of with the boxing background, that he's very good at positioning himself for these counter punches and just moving his head just slightly out of the way. Now, Miocic's problem, and at least in the Nagano fight, and arguably with his fight loss to DC, is sometimes he gets a little lazy with that head when he rolls, and he gets popped by an uppercut or a straight.
Yeah, because I mean, look, Stipe loves to stand in the pocket. He will stand in the pocket, and he can. And like you just said, he does get a little lazy with his head movement sometimes because he's so confident in his ambidextrous power.
My biggest issue with John Jones in this fight, to be completely honest, is how heavy is he really going to be? And with Stipe, like if John Jones shows up and he's 240, let's say that's what he is at the heaviest. No weight cut, anything. Natural 240. Steve's probably going to end up walking around at 250, so a 10-pound advantage. And that's a guy who's comfortably carried that weight. We've never seen John Jones completely fight a 5-round fight, a co-main event fight.
John just, to me, in my opinion, look, I've been studying the fight game. I've been involved in the fight game personally. Not trading fists, but rolling and doing 10th Planet for a long time now.
Yeah.
He doesn't look good at heavyweight physically. He just does not look good to me.
And he wasn't looking good at light heavyweight as of late. It looked like he was slowing down just enough. Like enough where, like, I mean, he's still very fucking good. We're not making any fucking delusions about that. But what I am saying is such a large part of his game is not just the range control, but how explosive he is into and out of, and how quick he is. And that sets up everything, including his own wrestling, not just the length.
Yes. Yes.
And you're going against a guy who was already quick at 240, 250, who is already like a near peer when it comes to wrestling prowess. So
Yeah.
you're not going to do that. Like, he will be looking and be able to go to any sort of kind of clinch or any sort of single or double leg attempt. And he's another guy who could also throw that in into yourself. So you're going to keep it more honest, like two wrestlers standing up usually do anyway.
Yeah.
And he's a guy with a boxing background who specializes in being in the pocket, which is
Well,
an area that he struggled with Santos.
Well, let's think about Stipe's wins for a second, okay? At heavyweight, because that's the only weight that he's ever fought at. Let's just think about it for a second. John, if he needs it, he has the wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So let's think about the guys that Stipe has beaten at heavyweight that are wrestlers. He has beaten Curtis Blades.
Yep.
He has beaten Daniel Cormier.
Yep.
At heavyweight.
Cain Velasquez. He beat Cain Velasquez.
Oh yeah, bad. Beat
Yeah.
the shit out of Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah.
Minotauro Nogueira, who is a quadruple coral belt and black belt Brazilian Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Also an ugly motherfucker.
Horrific. So if you think that John, I don't see John shooting in this. I see him standing on the outside and trying to circle, but I think Stipe's fight IQ is too high at heavyweight because, you know, fight IQ translates with different weight classes. It's different. I think he's too smart for him at heavyweight. He knows how to manage the weight. The biggest advantage that he has going in this fight that no one's talking about is that he knows how to manage the weight better.
Yeah.
Everyone the technical ability of John Jones is undeniable.
Yeah.
But Stipe can manage the weight better.
Yeah.
He looks better at the weight. He's probably John's equal at wrestling, at that weight at least.
Yeah.
And stand in the pocket, who knows? We won't know until they get in there. But Stipe is a Golden Gloves winner for the state of Ohio. And he can fucking stand in there and bang.
Yeah. Look, and honestly, his only weak fight was against Daniel Cormier, who was like Daniel Cormier was his natural weight, and he was more like, and that was like after him just getting everything he could boxing wise, and got him the same time. And then the second fight, Steve showed like a tremendous improvement round over round, and eventually got into a point where he got Cormier into a weak spot. But yeah, last thing I'll say about it, to be honest, it's not even just the weight thing with Steve that is not concerning me. What concerned me is Jones, but we're talking about a guy who there's a reason why he wasn't in football. There's a reason why he had to fight specifically at light heavyweight. When
all of his brothers are football players, by the way, everyone.
And he's a guy who, even in a football family of all, Chandler Jones is not the biggest guy, but I mean, you're telling me this guy struggled to put on weight, and all of a sudden this guy is going up 30 pounds, 40 pounds to fight a guy who is well built for it. The range isn't going to be that significant. I mean, he just, honestly, in my opinion, most of his weight gain doesn't necessarily look like muscle. It looks like he's just been drinking.
Yeah, dude, you nailed it on the head. Whenever you want, so
he looks like he's just bulking with fucking Jack Daniels.
Yes, dude. This is a hard concept for people to follow because, like, the day-to-day person is like, oh, I wish I could lose this amount of weight, or I wish I could lose that amount of weight. It's not that hard to cut weight. It's hard to cut weight. It's hard to cut from like 180 pounds to fight at featherweight or some shit like that. Yeah. But it's way, 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 way harder to put on weight and make it look healthy and effective. It's way harder. And John, he looks like fucking Carl Winslow from Family Matters. I mean, he looks horrific at heavyweight to me. He looks terrible. He looks like Franklin the teddy bear.
I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but I guess that's the best one I could think of, the Franklin the teddy bear.
I mean, it's weird because his face is all fat and pudgy, but below the knee, his legs are this big around.
Yeah.
So he just looks horrible at heavyweight. And I'm expecting from my friend who is within Full Violence, I'm not going to say his, I'll text you after this and I'll tell you who it is. His name is.
Well, you like fucking guy.
No, I'm not going to say his name, but my
I'm not going to say it. However, if he was named, it would be.
He works for Full Violence MMA, a very famous Instagram MMA page.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they're going to announce the fight next week. They're going to try. What they're doing is just nailing down like money things right now. Yeah. But the fight is going to be announced. It's going to be announced official for next week, or they're going to officially announce it next week. And they're expecting them to fight in December on the same card that they're trying to get Poirier and Chandler on. So main event would be Poirier versus Chandler. There's going to be no championship fight. And co-main event main event will be 5 rounds, obviously, and co-main event will also be 5 rounds if it's Stipe versus John Jones. Which, in my opinion, if that's the case, will be the best card of the year.
It'd be contention for it. I mean, it would be by far the best non-championship card.
Oh no, that's not even a competition. Yeah. It's for sure the best non-championship card. And if that fight happens, I see Stipe. I don't see a finish in that fight.
No, it's probably a decision.
I see it as a really beautiful technical masterpiece. And I see Stipe winning 50-48.
Yeah, I would agree with that. A unanimous 50-38. Sorry, 48.
Yeah, and
that one.
If the Poirier versus Chandler fight happens,
Poirier gets fucking murdered.
You think he gets murdered? I really want to say he gets murdered bad.
He's gonna get murdered bad.
I think because here's the thing, he's fighting a more powerful version of himself.
Yes.
That's what's happening. He's fighting.
If Poirier really wants to win, he needs to do the Michael Chandler method of getting bigger. First, you need to adopt 4 kids from the lowest parts of Africa.
Hold on, wait.
Didn't you need to rename yourself Iron?
Wait a minute. I'm looking at my breaking. Dustin Poirier takes flight to South Sudan.
Breaking. Dustin Poirier adopts Kamaru Usman's little nephew.
Breaking. Dustin Poirier adopts Haitian earthquake victim.
We need this in all jest, guys.
Oh, Christ.
I mean, that might be the key to the success. Should be going to the orphanage right now.
Oh my God. Anyhow, everybody, we have so many fights. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and just say, everybody, we're going to plan on, for me, the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty wide open. I'm working from home for the next couple of weeks because I'm raising a kid. So I elected to work remote with my job. So I have a ton of free time to be able to record again. Griffin, it's up to you whenever you want to record. I'm open forever.
It's always a pleasure, bud. And probably end Monday, Ethan, because it's recent enough that I'll have all the fights in like really sharp memory, and it'll be right before the contender. And honestly, if we just do Monday and then probably Thursday again next week, because that would be the perfect, because that would be after contender, before the next fight week, after this fight week, or not fight week, fight night. Not space out, and then Tuesday, second half, or sorry, not Monday, my bad. The second half we could cover probably NFC, then Thursday AFC, and keep it that way. But again, always a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for checking out Full Contact Sports. We'll be trying to be more frequent. This time July was just hectic for everybody involved. And again, please, any comment and all that. We thank you for all your support.
Button, all that stuff.
All right. Ethan, Griff Gambino, peace out. See you next time.
Later, guys.